In our Sunrise Smart Start, we're learning more about a tragic incident in Rochester yesterday.
Police finding a 911 dispatcher killed on Wetmore Park in the city. The person of interest, a Rochester police sergeant. His body was discovered in Henrietta yesterday. Erica Cost live this morning with more on this developing story. Erica, good morning.
Good morning. That's right. State police are handling this investigation, which started early yesterday morning. Mayor Malik Evans contacted state police just before 8 a.m. asking them to assume the investigation since this involves city employees. Once on scene, police discovered 35-year-old Janet Jordan dead. She worked on the city's communications department for 11 years and also as an instructor in the city's Pathways to Public Safety program. During the investigation, police identified 43-year-old Sergeant Melvin Williams of RPD as a person of interest who was later found dead in his car at Veterans Memorial Park. Last night, we got the chance to speak to some of the people who knew Janet, including some neighbors. Here's what they had to say.
We would always say hi to one another, that's it. I was shocked. I said, Lord Jesus, what happened around here? We need Jesus. We all need to get down on our knees and start praying.
Now, Sergeant Williams worked for RPD for 14 years. Still, some questions remain unanswered, like what was the relationship between him and Jordan, and how exactly did they die? In Rochester, Erica Cost, News 8.
Erica, thank you. Mayor Evans added in a statement he is offering his condolences to those impacted by the situation. He is making grief counselors and mental health services available to all city employees.
In other news this morning, gunfire hitting an occupied house overnight in Rochester. Police responding to Clifford Avenue around 1 a.m. for the reports of shots fired. Officers say an occupied house with 2 adults and 3 children had been struck by that gunfire. No injuries were reported. An investigation is ongoing. Well, in breaking news this morning, Washington, D.C. police arresting a man accused in a string of attacks against homeless people, both in the nation's capital and in New York City. 2 homeless men were shot in Manhattan early Saturday, one of those individuals fatally. And the days prior to that, 3 homeless men were attacked in Washington, D.C. One of those individuals was killed. Police say that victim was found in a burning tent and had been shot and stabbed.
To Albany now, the State Assembly and Senate passing their one-house budget proposals to kick off negotiations for the state budget. Their budgets, the proposals are similar, increasing health care spending, education spending, and spending for child care as well. Neither the Senate or Assembly have included alcohol to go, which is something Governor Hochul has been championing. The 2 sides also seem to disagree when it comes to halting the gas tax.
In New York City, they're not worried about driving. They use public transportation. So it's almost really an upstate issue, unfortunately. But I truly believe this will provide immediate relief to New Yorkers right now.
And since both one-house budgets passed, New York State's budget is one step closer now to being finalized come April 1st.
Now to the war in Ukraine. Russian air attacks continue, but things on the ground have stalled a little bit.
Today, Russian and Ukrainian officials will hold another round of talks aimed at a ceasefire. Hannah Brandt has more from Washington.
President Biden is expected to sign legislation on Tuesday that includes more than $13 billion of aid money for Ukraine. And on Wednesday, Ukrainian President Zelensky is set to address members of the United States Congress.
Russian attacks are pounding Ukrainian cities, including the capital of Kyiv, even hitting an apartment building on Tuesday.
Look at the damage and the death he's causing in places like Kyiv and Kharkiv and Mariupol. And, people losing their lives and their homes.
U.S. officials say Russia has asked China for help and military equipment. And in an hours-long meeting on Monday, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan warned Chinese advisors there will be consequences if they agree.
We will ensure that no country is able to get away with such a thing.
Meanwhile, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Ukrainian President Zelensky will address Congress virtually on Wednesday.
It will be a privilege for us to hear from this champion of democracy.
He's been publicly calling for the West to impose a no-fly zone. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby has consistently said the U.S. is not planning to do that.
Things that we don't believe would be helpful because of the escalatory nature of it, such as a no-fly zone.
Both the White House and lawmakers have said they're exploring more options for how to help Ukraine. And Press Secretary Jen Psaki says what the U.S. has done so far has been effective.
We have provided military assistance, humanitarian assistance to the Ukrainians, enabling them to fight back for far longer than the Russian leadership anticipated.
There have also been some discussions that President Biden might travel to Europe to meet with allies to discuss the crisis, but the White House hasn't confirmed any solid plans yet. In Washington, I'm Hannah Bray.
All right, let's bring in James Gilbert now and have a look at the morning forecast. Temperature's not so bad. Could be dealing with some rain today as well, though, James, right?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of spots of drizzle as we get into this afternoon, but not necessarily worth the umbrella, maybe just the rain jacket. Now, I'm checking a heavy jacket off here as we could, if you're especially along Lake Ontario, deal with colder air. We've got numbers in the 30s for you. I'll call it mid-40s for kind of a ballpark area, because if you're in the Finger Lakes, I've got you all the way up into the 50s, so pretty big difference there. But note the average afternoon high temperature, 43 degrees. We'll be smashing that number over the next few days. We'll have a look at the 8-day at the end of the show. Mark, Allie.
James, thank you. Another check of the roads with our sunrise traffic. We'll give you a live look at this hour over 390, right? Volume you can see building in. But again, the good news, no accidents to pass along on 390, 490, or 590 as you make your way out the door at this hour. Well, last week we told you the Victor and Canandaigua Chambers of Commerce would combine to form the Ontario County Chamber of Commerce. They made it official yesterday. Those behind the decision say businesses are struggling with inflation and supply chain issues, and this merger will help.
We think that as businesses are successful, as businesses are going out and doing good in the community, as our nonprofits are stepping up and serving at a high level, all of us get to benefit from that.
The application portal is now open. Find that online at rochesterfirst.com. Well, big changes slated for the greater Rochester area thanks to more than $200 million in funding.
This thanks to a spending package pushed by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Representative Joe Morelli. A new performing arts center and projects to reverse decades of housing discrimination are at the forefront.
These could be great homes, but they require repairs. They're sold at foreclosure, government auctions. So we need a new system where that's where the Ibero Equitable Home Ownership Program will make all the difference. This program, which gets the $400,000 we secured in the omnibus, is a different model to help low-income people afford these properties. The program will provide 2 years of counseling. It'll remove financial barriers to qualify for purchase.
And Schumer says these projects will help lay the foundation for Rochester's future.
The presumptive Republican nominee for governor here in New York, Lee Zeldin, was in Rochester yesterday. Zeldin talked about the rising gas prices and what he says is needed for the U.S. and New York to be energy independent.
Here in the state of New York, we have the opportunity to become energy independent. We could do so in a way that we will not only be energy independent, but we will be exporting energy resources to other states. We have the ability to export our energy to other countries.
Andrew Giuliani and Rob Astorino are also seeking the Republican line. The primary is set for June.
Congressman Joe Morelli is pushing for a permanent child tax credit. The child tax credit was boosted in 2021 to help families during the pandemic. Part of the President Biden's American Rescue Plan increased the existing tax credit from $2,000 per child to $3,600 per child under the age of 6 and to $3,000 for children ages 6 to 16. Eligible families could also receive a monthly payment of up to $300 per child, but those payments expired at the end of December. Morelli joined other local leaders in calling for the credit to be made permanent.
Here in our community alone, $187 million and child tax credit payments were made just in 2021. And the share of households reporting they didn't have enough to eat immediately dropped 24%. Think about it. A quarter of the families who didn't have enough reported getting enough support that they were able to meet their needs in terms of food and helping to deal with food insecurities.
Morelli says most Rochester families use the payments to purchase food, followed by paying their mortgage and rent. He says the payments also help parents go back to work.
Local Olympic gold medalist Chris Lillis celebrating his big win with a victory party last night in Fairport. The Pittsford native and 2022 aerial freestyle national champion was at Iron Smoke Distillery. Not only did he talk to fans, but as you see, he also played some guitar, another one of his talents. The goal of the event was to raise money for Bristol Mountain.
And all this stuff is not, it's done by Bristol, it's done by the owners there and the Fullers, and then it's also done by the local community donating, and that's how all this stuff is possible. So any event that we can put together to start, building on that long checklist of things that we want to do, I'm happy to support it.
Well, money raised during the auction and raffles last night, raising funds for a new ski jump at Bristol Mountain. Here's what some folks will be talking about at the water cooler today. Busy day in the NFL. Yesterday, the Bills making several moves, re-signing wide receiver and returner Isaiah McKenzie to a 2-year deal. They also signed a Pro Bowl offensive lineman Roger Saffold. He will also join Mitch Morse, who re-signed. The center re-signing with the Bills, looking to protect Josh Allen. Bills did lose defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to the Vikings and backup quarterback Mitch Trubisky, who is moving on to the Steelers.
Busy day.
Yes, busy. The waiver wire is just loaded right now with transactions.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen has a pretty big stake in making sure the offensive line gets taken care of.
Yeah, and I would say that for the Bills, keeping Josh Allen upright and happy is really important.
Yes, it is, certainly. Hopefully just as important as getting ready for the bus stop. We've got temperatures in the 30s this morning. Sunrise, that's not till 7:23. We're waiting for that to get a little bit earlier. Return home, yeah, there could be a couple of rain showers around, but temperatures generally in the 40s. We've got the nice warm up ahead, both Wednesday and Thursday, surging in temperatures. 50s Wednesday, upper 60s to near 70 on Thursday. And that comes with sun. Just don't look at Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We turn cooler and some rain and snow showers in there as well.
All right, James, thank you so much, and thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.